Imagine walking into a room where five people are talking about trucking. The first person says, "I'm a truck driver." The second says, "I'm an owner-operator." The third smiles and says, "I own 12 trucks." The fourth says, "I'm a freight broker." And the fifth quietly adds, "I don't own any trucks at all, but I still make money from the transportation industry." Now here's the interesting question. Which one do you think earns the most money? Most people immediately point to the person with the biggest truck. Others assume it's the fleet owner. Some believe it's the broker. But the truth is, the answer depends on far more than the size of the truck. It depends on risk, responsibility, cash flow, business knowledge, and perhaps most importantly, understanding where you fit into this industry. Because transportation isn't just one career, it's an entire business ecosystem, and each path comes with different rewards, different challenges, and different opportunities. So if you've ever wondered whether you should become a driver, buy a Sprinter van, start a box truck business, own a fleet, become a freight broker, or simply invest in transportation, this lesson is for you. Welcome to another lesson from Logistics Business Academy. In our previous lesson, we uncovered how the U.S. trucking industry actually works. We followed a shipment from a California farm to a grocery store in New York. We met the shippers, the brokers, the carriers, the dispatchers, and the drivers. Together, they formed one complete transportation network. But understanding how the industry works naturally leads to another question. If you wanted to build a future in trucking, where should you start? That's exactly what we're going to answer today. We'll compare the most common career and business paths in transportation, not just by how much money they can generate, but also by the investment they require, the risks involved, and the lifestyle they offer. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a much clearer picture of which path might be the best fit for you. Before we begin, if you're serious about learning the transportation industry from the ground up, consider subscribing to Logistics Business Academy. Every lesson builds on the last, helping you make smarter business decisions before investing your time or your money. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1: The Biggest Myth in Trucking. One of the biggest misconceptions about trucking is that the person making the most money is always the person driving the biggest truck. That isn't necessarily true. In almost every industry, people tend to confuse revenue with profit. Imagine someone tells you, "My trucking company made $1 million last year." That sounds impressive, but what they don't tell you is that fuel, insurance, truck payments, maintenance, driver wages, taxes, permits, office expenses, and repairs consumed almost all of that money. A business can generate a tremendous amount of revenue while producing only a modest profit. On the other hand, another company might generate less revenue but operate far more efficiently, leaving the owner with a healthier bottom line. That's why experienced business owners don't ask, "How much revenue did you make?" They ask, "How much did you keep?" This is an important mindset to carry throughout this series, because transportation isn't just about moving freight, it's about building a sustainable business. Chapter 2: The Company Driver. Let's start with the path that introduces many people to the trucking industry: the company driver. Imagine someone named Michael. Michael has always wanted to work in transportation. Instead of buying a truck immediately, he joins an established trucking company as a driver. The company provides the truck, the trailer, insurance, maintenance, fuel, permits, and dispatch support. Michael's responsibility is to safely deliver freight and follow company procedures. For many people, this is the perfect starting point. It allows them to learn how freight moves, understand customers, gain experience on the road, and build confidence without making a large financial investment. One of the biggest advantages is predictability. The driver doesn't have to worry about truck payments or finding customers. The trade-off, however, is that the driver's income is generally tied to the work they personally perform. If they stop driving, their earnings typically stop as well. For someone who wants stability and wants to learn the industry before taking on the risks of business ownership, becoming a company driver can be a very practical first step. But for someone whose long-term goal is to build a transportation business, it may eventually become a stepping stone rather than the final destination. Chapter 3. The Owner-Operator. Now imagine another person. Her name is Sarah. Instead of working as a company driver, Sarah purchases a truck. Now everything changes. She is no longer just responsible for driving. She is responsible for running a business. Every decision affects her bottom line. When fuel prices rise, she feels it. When maintenance is due, she pays for it. When freight slows down, she has to plan carefully. But here's the advantage. Sarah also has greater control over her business. She can choose the types of loads she accepts. She can negotiate rates. She can decide when to work and when to take time off. If she manages her costs well and keeps her truck productive, she has the opportunity to earn more than many company drivers. But that opportunity comes with increased responsibility. Owning a truck doesn't automatically create wealth. It creates responsibility. Successful owner-operators understand that they're not just drivers, they're business owners. They monitor expenses, build relationships with reliable brokers and customers, maintain their equipment, protect their reputation, and think beyond today's load. That's what separates long-term success from short-term excitement. Logistics insight. Here's something worth remembering. Buying a truck doesn't make you a transportation entrepreneur. Learning how to operate a profitable transportation business does. The truck is simply one of the tools. Your knowledge, decision-making, and discipline are what determine whether that tool becomes a successful business. Chapter 4. The Fleet Owner. Building a business that can grow. Let's continue Sarah's story. After 3 years as a successful owner-operator, Sarah has paid off a large portion of her truck loan. She understands freight rates, has built strong relationships with brokers, and has developed a reputation for delivering on time. Now she faces an important question. Should she continue driving forever, or should she build something that can grow beyond her own time? She decides to purchase a second truck, but this time she isn't planning to drive it herself. Instead, she hires a qualified driver. For the first time, her business begins generating income from work she isn't personally doing. A year later, she buys a third truck, then a fourth. Eventually, Sarah spends less time behind the wheel and more time managing drivers, building customer relationships, reviewing finances, and planning for growth. This is the transition from self-employment to business ownership. A fleet owner doesn't simply own trucks. A fleet owner manages people, equipment, customers, maintenance schedules, insurance, compliance, and cash flow. It's a rewarding path, but it's also one of the most demanding. Every additional truck increases opportunity, but it also increases responsibility. One driver's mistake can affect your reputation. A missed maintenance schedule can sideline a vehicle. Poor cash flow can create stress even when business appears busy. The most successful fleet owners understand that growth isn't just about adding trucks. It's about building reliable systems that allow the business to keep operating, even when unexpected challenges arise. Logistics insight. There's a saying in business. Don't just build a job for yourself. Build a system that works even when you're not working. That's one of the biggest differences between owning one truck and building a transportation company. Chapter 5. The Sprinter Van Business. Now let's meet another entrepreneur. His name is David. David doesn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest. He isn't interested in driving a large tractor-trailer, but he notices something interesting. More companies are demanding faster deliveries than ever before. Automotive manufacturers need emergency replacement parts. Hospitals need urgent medical supplies. Factories can't afford production delays. Retailers need inventory replenished quickly. These aren't always full truckload shipments. Many of them are smaller, time-sensitive deliveries. This is where Sprinter vans often play an important role. Because of their size and flexibility, they can reach locations quickly, navigate urban areas more easily, and handle many expedited shipments efficiently. David purchases a Sprinter van and signs on with transportation companies that specialize in expedited freight. His work is different from traditional long-haul trucking. Some weeks involve local deliveries. Other weeks require regional trips. No 2 weeks look exactly the same. What David quickly discovers is that buying the van was the easiest part. Finding consistent freight, managing operating expenses, maintaining excellent customer service, planning routes efficiently. Those are the skills that determine long-term success. A vehicle alone doesn't create a profitable business. Reliable service does. Chapter 6. The Box Truck Opportunity. Let's meet another entrepreneur. Her name is Jennifer. Jennifer researches different transportation businesses before making a decision. She realizes many companies move freight that's too large for a Sprinter van, but doesn't require a full tractor-trailer. She decides to invest in a box truck. Soon, she's delivering retail merchandise, commercial equipment, packaging materials, furniture, and regional freight. She also discovers another advantage. Many businesses prefer working with dependable carriers on dedicated routes. Instead of searching for a completely different shipment every day, Jennifer begins building long-term relationships with customers who value consistency. Over time, these relationships create something every transportation business wants: predictability. Instead of constantly asking, "Where will my next load come from?" she's asking, "How can I provide even better service to the customers I already have?" That's an important mindset. The transportation industry rewards reliability. Customers remember companies that communicate well, deliver safely, and solve problems professionally. Whether you operate one vehicle or 100, your reputation becomes one of your greatest business assets. Comparing the 3 business models. At this point, you might be wondering, which option is actually better? The truth is, there isn't one perfect answer. A company driver may appreciate stability and lower financial risk. An owner-operator may value independence and greater control. A fleet owner may focus on building a scalable business. A Sprinter van operator may prefer flexibility and expedited freight. A box truck owner may find opportunities in regional and dedicated deliveries. Each path serves a different goal. Instead of asking, "Which business makes the most money?" ask, "Which business matches my skills, financial situation, and long-term vision?" That's a much better question, because success isn't determined by copying someone else's journey. It's determined by building the right business for your own circumstances. Logistics insight. Many beginners spend months comparing vehicles: Sprinter van or box truck or semi, new or used. Those questions matter, but here's the question that matters even more. Who is your customer? Because once you understand who you're serving, the right equipment often becomes much easier to choose. Businesses don't pay you simply because you own a truck. They pay you because you solve a transportation problem. The better you solve that problem, the more valuable your business becomes. So far, we've explored careers behind the wheel and businesses built around owning vehicles. But here's something many newcomers don't realize. Some people build successful transportation businesses without owning a single truck. How is that possible? In our final section, we'll explore freight brokers, dispatchers, logistics professionals, and the most important question of all: which path is the right one for you? We'll also discuss why chasing the highest revenue can sometimes lead to disappointment, and why choosing the right business model is often more important than chasing the biggest numbers. Chapter 7. You don't need to own a truck to make money in transportation. By now, we've looked at company drivers, owner-operators, fleet owners, Sprinter van businesses, and box truck operations. But what if I told you that some successful people in the transportation industry don't own a truck at all? In fact, some have never driven a commercial truck in their lives. That's because transportation is much bigger than trucks. It's a business built on solving problems. And one of the biggest problems in logistics is connecting freight with the right carrier at the right time. That's where freight brokers come in. Imagine a manufacturer in Ohio has a shipment that needs to be delivered to Texas within the next 24 hours. The manufacturer doesn't have time to search through thousands of carriers. Instead, they contact a freight broker. The broker already has relationships with trusted transportation companies. Within minutes, the broker begins calling carriers, checking availability, negotiating rates, and matching the shipment with the right truck. The manufacturer gets peace of mind. The carrier gets freight. The broker earns a margin for bringing both parties together. The broker's greatest asset isn't a truck, it's relationships, knowledge, communication, and trust. Good brokers become valuable because they consistently solve transportation problems. Chapter 8. The Dispatcher. The Silent Hero. Let's talk about another career that many people overlook. The dispatcher. If drivers are the ones moving freight, dispatchers are often the ones keeping everything moving smoothly behind the scenes. Imagine a fleet with 20 trucks. Every morning, someone needs to make sure each driver knows where they're going. Appointments must be confirmed, pickup times coordinated, traffic delays communicated, customers updated, paperwork completed, unexpected problems solved. That's what dispatchers do. Some work directly for trucking companies. Others operate independent dispatch businesses and support owner-operators or small fleets. Success as a dispatcher isn't about driving. It's about organization, communication, and problem solving. The better you help drivers stay productive and on schedule, the more valuable your service becomes. Chapter 9. So, who really makes the most money? Now we arrive at the question we started with. Who really makes the most money in trucking? The honest answer might surprise you. There isn't one winner, because income depends on far more than your job title. Let's look at it another way. Imagine 5 people begin their transportation journey today. Michael becomes a company driver. Sarah becomes an owner-operator. David starts an expedited sprinter van business. Jennifer invests in a box truck, and James builds a freight brokerage. 5 years later, Michael has gained valuable experience, steady income, and a deep understanding of trucking operations. Sarah has built a profitable business with 1 truck and is preparing to expand into a fleet. David has become known for reliable expedited deliveries and has grown his customer base. Jennifer has secured dedicated regional contracts that provide consistent work. James has built relationships with shippers and carriers and now manages freight across multiple states. Who made the most money? The answer depends on one thing. Who built the strongest business? Not who bought the biggest truck, not who worked the longest hours, not who generated the highest revenue. The person who understood their costs, delivered consistent value, built lasting relationships, and made smart business decisions. That's the real lesson. Transportation rewards people who think like business owners. Logistics. Insight. Many people enter this industry asking, how much money can I make? Experienced professionals ask a different question. What problem can I solve better than anyone else? Because in business, profits usually follow value. The more valuable your service becomes, the more opportunities you'll create. Whether you're driving a truck, dispatching loads, managing a fleet, or connecting shippers with carriers, your success depends on how well you help other businesses succeed. Never lose sight of that. Chapter 10. Choosing the right path for you. Before you make any major investment, ask yourself these questions. Do I enjoy driving? Or would I rather manage a business? Do I have capital to invest? Or should I gain experience first? Am I looking for a stable career? Or am I willing to take greater risks for greater long-term rewards? Do I enjoy working with customers, negotiating, managing people, solving operational challenges? Your answers matter, because the best transportation business isn't the one that worked for someone else. It's the one that matches your strengths, goals, and resources. There is no shame in starting small. Many successful fleet owners began as company drivers. Many respected brokers started in customer service. Many logistics leaders began working in warehouses. Every successful business has a starting point. The important thing is to keep learning. Final thoughts. Today, we've explored the many paths available in the transportation industry. You've learned that trucking is much more than driving. It's an ecosystem filled with opportunities for entrepreneurs, professionals, investors, and problem solvers. Whether your dream is to own one truck or 100, whether you want to build a brokerage, operate a dispatch business, or simply understand how freight moves across America, there's a place for you in this industry. The key is choosing the path that aligns with your goals and then committing to learning everything you can about it. Knowledge reduces costly mistakes. Preparation creates confidence, and consistency builds successful businesses. In our next lesson, we're going to answer one of the biggest questions every beginner asks before investing in transportation. Should you buy a sprinter van, a box truck, or a semi-truck? We'll compare startup costs, types of freight, earning potential operating expenses, business opportunities, common mistakes new owners make, and which vehicle is the best choice depending on your budget and goals. If you're considering entering this industry, you won't want to miss it. If you found value in today's lesson, take a moment to like this video. It tells YouTube that this content is worth sharing with others who are trying to understand the transportation industry. If you know someone who's thinking about starting a trucking business, buying a sprinter van, investing in a box truck, or simply exploring opportunities in logistics, share this video with them. It might save them from making expensive mistakes. And if you're serious about building a future in transportation, subscribe to Logistics Business Academy. This isn't just another YouTube channel. It's a complete learning journey where each lesson builds on the previous one, helping you make informed decisions before investing your time and money. Until then, thank you for spending this time with me. Keep learning, keep building, and remember, the road to success in transportation doesn't begin with buying a truck. It begins with understanding the business. I'll see you in the next lesson.